Like he could have bought that shit and be like, yeah, you ain't got to do that. But no, he didn't want to do that because she wants to stay relevant.
I don't know about
Don't know
that
that
one.
though, because we are acting like because we saw someone's network that we think that they could do that for somebody, and we don't know that.
She's
Stipulations
doing
are
it.
contracts.
She's
If you
doing
know
it.
that you can't break.
She
She's
willingly
doing
did
it. She's
somebody like
doing
that.
it. She's doing it because she wants to do it, because she wants to remain part of the club. Okay, the club is everything that you see women doing nowadays. Fantasia came out and said that she was submissive to her husband, and they eviscerated her for saying that. So she's trying to remain part of the club, and the club is, I'm a strong, independent woman. Yeah, I got a man. He got money. I'm benefiting from that, but I don't need his ass. I'll leave him tomorrow. That's the club. That's the club, and she's trying to remain part of that club.
And it's a lot of women trying to remain part of that club. I really believe that. I agree with Angry Man. It's not that she's forced to do it, because you have to make a sacrifice when you get married sometimes, depending on the industry that you're already in. There isn't
Yeah, I
anyone in the
don't.
music industry pushing healthy marriages from women. That's not getting pushed like that. What's getting
Well,
I
they
don't
don't
pushed
think
push
nobody will
anything
cry.
being
positive
drugs
in the industry.
and the same thing that's been pushed, being single. So
I don't
if
think
you're
nobody
choosing to stay
shed a
in this
tear if
industry,
Sierra
yeah, if you're
if
choosing to stay
Sierra
in this
decided she
industry
wasn't gonna
and try to
sing no
keep up
more.
with the young ones and doing all the things that the young girls are doing, you could sacrifice your relationship, in my opinion.
I was gonna say that Sierra actually just signed that deal last year. She didn't have to do it. No
Exactly.
reason why, in connection to Russell Wilson, did she have to sign a deal. She did it by choice because she wants to stay relevant. She wants to stay making music. And the reality is that she probably needs a label to push her music because she can't sell it on her own. She can barely sell it with the label.
But the deal at the time of signing, did she have any foreknowledge of having to sing a song or having it written in her contract that she has to perform a song title,
No,
whatever the name
typically,
of it is?
typically when you sign deals, there's expectation, album expectation. I don't know the details of her deal, but
I do
if
though.
I
That's
had to,
what I'm trying to say. I
if
do
I
though.
had to, if I was a betting man and you told me that, hey, this is the wave that you need to ride because if you come out here with that other shit, it ain't gonna sell and you're not gonna be able to fulfill your contract obligations, then more than likely she probably would do it.
But we're talking as if you can't negotiate contracts. We're talking as if
Oh,
you can't set the tone for what you look. You go back and you look at the show back in the day, Good Times, right? Originally, that show was supposed to be a single mother living in Cabrini Green. But Esther Roll said, no, I'm not going to do this show if I got to be a single mother because I had a father in my life. And that's the reason why you have James on that show. So people can establish off the rip, I'm not going to do this type of music. I'm not going to do this. If not, I'm not signing the contract. She didn't do that because she didn't have a problem with this mentality. She doesn't have a problem with this mentality. That's what people have to realize. She's burning the candle at both ends, and a lot of artists are doing that. Cardi B does that. Who else? Mary J. Blige did that for a while. Like, there's these female artists that promote shit. Beyonce does that. There's these female artists that promote this single woman mentality. Meanwhile, they're pursuing the things that women should be pursuing and finding happiness in that while they're peddling misery to their fans. It's ridiculous.
But you
It
have to
sounds
look at
like
why is it more prevalent in the music industry than it is you talking about a show, right? That's leeway and people that can go and say this is not something I want to do. Jordan Peele talks about things that he wanted to do with his movies, like, but why don't you ever see that in the music industry? There's a reason why. It's the reason why even the devil was sitting over the choir. You know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is at the end of the day, I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying, but you can't.
I would
We can't
argue.
sit and not act like
I
there
would,
is a agenda being pushed in this society, and that people are like, I'm just gonna out front tell you, Sierra, hey, we're gonna sign you, but you're gonna have to do everything you don't want to do.
And
No,
guess what?
it's
And
gonna
guess what?
sound like
It's
numbers.
not her
It's gonna
first
sound
contract
independent.
though,
It's gonna
Walker.
sound
She's
What?
been doing this
But guess what?
forever. It's been
Guess
over
what?
a decade. She
But
has skin in the game. She's been here
guess
for a
yeah.
what?
while
Every other
too.
But
week
guess
there's an
what?
artist on the
Here's the
shade room
thing.
talking about some way that they've been fucked over once again. We
But
get
guess
fucked out
what?
today.
But guess what? Guess what? The same way black people can complain about women not being able to wear their hair a certain way at work and get a bill passed, the same way black people can constantly march and complain about black men that get shot down by the police, the same way black people can raise hell about every other thing that bothers them, they can raise hell about the music industry, but they don't.
Hold on, Angry Man. We ain't even
People
got
have
to. Hold on, wait.
Hold on, y'all. We gotta get some more people. I know y'all been.
All right, let me get this one out real quick, Jay.
No. Every time y'all say that, man, let's get some more people in here real quick, and let's bring this one to a close. We'll get to the next topic. Let's get.
Let me get one in. No, I'm just coming.
Hold on. Let me check on pressure.
I didn't say nothing to me.
Carrie, you there? Ali, Chinese girl, and
Yeah,
I would love it.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
You just I mean, I believe I spoke a little bit earlier about it, but being married and being independent is like oil and water. You know, you just can't mix the two. When you get married, you're depending on that person, both man depending on his woman and the woman depending on the man. Sierra and Russell, I hear everything that Walker is saying, because that's why I always say I never really believe anything that comes through the media, because it's an agenda that they're pushing. We can definitely have our feelings about how it looks as far as a married couple and what we see in, social media, and, like she was saying, the trigger words and things that they use to push these albums. A lot of that stuff is used to trigger marketing, the psychology behind all of it. I'm in sales, so I understand all of that. But when it comes to being married and being independent, it just doesn't mix. And like Angry Man was saying, none of us really are independent. We're all dependent on something or someone, and primarily someone. So Sierra and Russell really are, honestly, at this point, it just seems like it's a what do they call it? A publicity stunt? Those type of relationships where it's just like, singer marries sports guy, and he has all this money, yet she has a career too, and all the independent stuff is just for her to be able to push whatever white man is signing that check. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, to me, it seems like women are women today. Let me say this first too, so that we make this clear. I believe in a real society, in a nation, everything is a man's fault.